So this is our statement. You'll be doing your own, of course. At 5:30 p.m. on the 3rd of November, in Cobble Hill Park, following a verbal altercation, Benjamin Rowley, 11, armed with a stick, struck our son Henry Novak in the face. This action resulted in, apart from a swelling of the upper lip, the breaking of 2 incisors, including injury to the nerve in the right incisor.
Armed?
Armed? You don't like armed? What shall we say, Michael? Furnished? Equipped? Furnished with a stick, is that all right?
Furnished, yes.
Furnished with a stick.
Furnished. The irony is, we've always regarded Cobble Hill Park as a haven of security, unlike Whitman Park.
She's right. We've always said Cobble Hill Park, yes. Whitman Park, no.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you for coming. There's nothing to be gained from getting stuck down some emotional cul-de-sac.
We should be thanking you. We should.
Oh, I don't see that any thanks are necessary. Fortunately, there's still the art of coexistence, isn't there?
Which the children don't appear to have mastered, at least not ours.
Yes, not ours. What's going to happen to the tooth with the affected nerve?
We don't know yet. They're being cautious about the prognosis. Apparently, the nerve hasn't been totally exposed.
Only a little bit of it has been exposed.
Yes, some of it's been exposed and some of it's still covered. That's why they've decided not to kill the nerve just yet.
They're trying to give the tooth a chance.
Obviously, it would be best to avoid endodontic surgery.
Well, yes.
So there'll be an interim period while they give the nerve a chance to recover.
In the meantime, they're going to give him ceramic crowns.
Whatever happens, you can't have an implant before you're 18.
No.
Permanent implants can't be fitted until you finish growing.
Of course, I hope it all works out.
Yes, I hope so.
Oh, those tulips are gorgeous.
They're from that little Korean deli up on Smith Street. You know, the one on the end?
Oh, yes.
They come in every morning direct from Holland. $40 for a bunch of 50.
Oh, really?
You know, the one at the end.
Yes, yes.
You know, he didn't want to identify Benjamin.
No, he didn't.
Impressive sight. That child. Face bashed in. Teeth missing. Still refusing to talk.
I can imagine.
He also didn't want to identify him for fear of looking like a tattletale in front of his friends. We have to be honest, Veronica. It was nothing more than bravado.
Of course, but bravado is a kind of courage, isn't it?
That's right. So what I mean is, how did you manage to get Benjamin's name?
Well, we explained to Henry he wasn't helping the child by shielding him.
We said to him, if this child thinks that he can continue to hit people with impunity, why should he stop?
We said to him, if we were this child's parents, we would definitely want to be told.
Absolutely.
Yes. Excuse me. Yes, Murray, thanks for calling back. Right, in today's Times. Let me read it to you. According to a paper published in The Lancet and taken up yesterday in the Financial Times, 2 Australian researchers have revealed the neurological side effects of Antril, a hypertensive beta blocker manufactured at the Vrenz Farmer Laboratories. These side effects range from hearing loss to ataxia. So who the hell's your media watchdog? Yes, it's very damn inconvenient. No, what's most inconvenient about it, as far as I'm concerned, is the annual shareholders meetings in 2 weeks. Do you have an insurance contingency to cover litigation? Okay. Oh, and Murray, ask your PR gal to find out if this story shows up anywhere else. Call me back. Excuse me.
So you're...
A lawyer.
And what about you?
Me? I have a wholesale company, Household Goods. And Veronica's a writer and works part-time at an art history bookshop.
A writer.
I contributed to a collection on the civilization of Sheba, based on the excavations that were restarted at the end of the Ethiopian-Eritrean War. I also have a book coming out in January on the Darfur tragedy.
So you specialize in Africa.
I'm very interested in that part of the world.
Well, do you have any other children?
Henry has a 9-year-old sister, Camille, who's furious at her father because last night her father let the hamster out.
You
Got rid of the hamster.
You got rid of the hamster?
Yes, this hamster makes the most god-awful racket all night long, then spends the whole day fast asleep. Henry was in a lot of pain last night. He was being driven crazy by the racket that hamster kept making. And to tell you the truth, I've been wanting to get rid of it for a while. So I said, okay, that's it. So I took it out, put it in the street. Thought it liked gutters and all that, but it just sat there on the sidewalk, paralyzed. I mean, they're not domestic animals. They're not wild animals. I really don't know what their natural habitat is. Dump them in the woods, they're probably just as unhappy. So I don't know where you're supposed to put them.
You left it outside.
He left it there and tried to convince Camille it had run away, but she wasn't having it.
Was the hamster gone this morning?
Yes, gone.
And you? What field are you in?
I'm in wealth management.
Isn't it all possible, forgive me for putting the question so bluntly, that Benjamin might apologize to Henry?
It'd be good if they talked.
Well, he has to apologize, Alan. He has to say he's sorry.
Yes, of course.
But is he sorry?
He realizes what he's done, he just doesn't understand the implications. He's 11.
If you're 11, you're not a baby anymore.
You're not an adult either. We haven't offered you folks anything. Coffee? Tea? Is there any more of that clafouti left, Ronnie? It's an extraordinary clafouti.
I wouldn't mind an espresso.
Just some water.
Espresso for me too, sweetie. And bring the clafouti anyway. What I always say is, we're a lump of potter's clay, and it's up to us to mold something out of it. May not take shape until the very end. Who knows? Oh, you have to taste this clafouti. Good clafouti is an endangered species.
You're right.
What is it you sell?
Domestic hardware, locks, doorknobs, soldering irons, all sorts of household goods. Saucepans, frying pans.
Money in that, is there?
Well, you know, it's never really been a bonanza, and it was pretty hard when we first started. But if I'm out there pushing my product every day, we survive. At least it's not seasonal like textiles. Although we do sell a lot of fondue pots around Christmas time.
I'm sure.
When you saw the hamster sitting there paralyzed, why didn't you bring it back home?
Because I couldn't pick it up.
But you put it on the sidewalk.
I took it out in its cage and sort of dumped it out. I don't like to touch rodents.
I don't know who put the clafouti in the fridge. Monica puts everything in the fridge. She won't be told. What has Benjamin said to you? Sugar?
No thanks. What's in the clafouti?
Apples and pears?
Apples and pears?
My own little recipe. Oh, it's going to be too cold. It's a shame.
Apples and pears, this is a first.
Apples and pears. It's pretty textbook. But there's a little trick to it.
Oh, there is.
Pears need to be cut thicker than apples because pears cook faster than apples.
Of course.
But wait, she's not telling you the real secret.
Let them try it.
Very good. It's very good.
Tasty.
Gingerbread crumbs.
Oh, brilliant.
To be quite honest, I got it from his mother.
Gingerbread. Delicious. Well, at least all this has given us a new recipe.
Well, I'd have preferred if it hadn't cost my son 2 teeth.
Of course, that's what I meant.
Strange way of expressing it.
Not at all. I have to take this. Yes, Murray. No, don't ask for right of reply. You'll only feed the controversy. Are you insured? Mm-hmm. What are these symptoms? What is ataxia? What about on a standard dose? How long have you known about this? And all that time, you never recalled it? What's the gross? Ah, got it, I see.
Alan, do you mind joining us?
Yes, I'm coming. Serge, they've known about the risks for 2 years. An internal report, but it didn't formally identify any undesirable side effects. No, they took no precautions. They didn't ensure, not a word about it in the annual report. Impaired motor skills, stability problems. In short, you look completely retarded. They're grossing $150 million. Blanket denial. Idiot wanted to demand a right of reply. We certainly don't want a right of reply. On the other hand, if the story spreads, we could put out a press release. Say it's disinformation, leaked 2 weeks before the annual shareholders meeting. He's going to call me back. Okay. I haven't had lunch.
Oh, please, help yourself. Help yourself.
Thanks. I have no manners. What were you saying?
That it would have been nicer to meet under better circumstances.
Oh, yes, of course. So this clafoudi's your mother's?
The recipe's my mother's, but Ronnie made this one.
Your mother doesn't mix pears and apples.
No.
Poor thing has to have an operation.
Oh, really? What for?
Her knee.
They're going to insert a rotatable prosthesis made of metal and polyethylene into her joint. She's wondering what's going to be left of it when she's cremated.
Don't be horrible.
She refuses to be buried next to my father. She wants to be cremated and then buried next to her mother, who's on her own in Florida. Imagine, 2 urns looking out into the sea, trying to get a word in edgewise.
We're very touched by your generosity, and we appreciate the fact that you're trying to calm the situation down rather than exasperate it.
Frankly, it's the least we can do.
Not at all. How many parents, when standing up for their children, become infantile themselves? If Henry would have bashed in 2 of Benjamin's teeth, Alan and I would have been a lot more thin-skinned about it. I'm not sure we'd been so broad-minded.
Of course you would.
She's right. Not at all, sir.
Right, because we all know it could have easily been the other way around.
So what does Benjamin have to say about it? How does he view the situation?
He's not saying much. I think he's still slightly in shock.
Well, he understands that he's disfigured his playmate.
No, he does not understand that he's disfigured his playmate.
Why are you saying that Benjamin understands very well?
He understands he's behaved like a thug. He does not understand that he's disfigured his playmate.
You don't care for the word, but the word is unfortunately accurate.
My son has not disfigured your son.
Your son has disfigured my son. Come back tonight at 5 o'clock and take a look at his teeth and mouth.
Temporarily disfigured.
The swelling on his lip will go down. And as for his teeth, take him to the best dentist. I'm prepared to chip in.
That's what insurance is for. What we'd like is for the boys to meet so that this kind of thing never happens again.
Let's arrange a meeting.
Yes, that's the answer.
Well, should we be there?
They don't need to be coached. Just let them do it man to man.
Man to man, Alan, don't be ridiculous. Having said that, we don't necessarily have to be there. It would probably be better if we weren't, wouldn't it?
Well, the question isn't whether we should be there or not. The question is, do they want to talk to one another? Do they want to have a discussion?
Henry